30 takes of me laughing. It
30 takes. Wow.
And Patty, what's so great is that Andy each time was as committed as the last. He was there all the way, and that made me laugh even more. Nothing broke him. Nothing.
Welcome, friends and fans, to another edition of GalaxyCon Live, where we are bringing you the convention experience directly to you. And today, we are going back to Terrak Nor with the amazingly talented cast of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and now's the time for all of you in our chat room to begin typing in your questions for them. So without further ado, let's beam them up. Our first guest is an actress whose body of work includes The Cube, The Dead Zone, and Private Eyes. Today, she joins us to discuss the role of the 9th host of the Dax symbiote, Lieutenant and Counselor Ezri Dax. Please welcome for the first time on the GalaxyCon virtual stage, Nicole de Boer.
Hello. Thank you, Patty. Hello, everyone. Good to be here.
Oh, so glad to have you here. We got to bring you up to date and everything on else, but we'll do that with your castmates come on up. But first of all, thank you for joining us. And how have you been holding up in your corner of the world?
Pretty well, thank you. I mean, it's been really tough on everyone. There's, definitely been some hard days, but overall, well, thank you for asking. How have you been?
I am well in my part of the world here in Orlando, and Florida is an interesting state, and I'm a resident of Florida, but I do not refer to myself as Florida man, if you know what I mean.
Good to hear.
Absolutely good to hear. Well, Nicole, thank you for joining us. It's glad to have you here in good spirit and in good health.
Thank you.
And if at any time you want to introduce us to your dog, we absolutely love meeting the pets of our guests at any time.
Totally. Teddy will be making an appearance.
I absolutely look forward to it. And now let's bring out someone else. She is an actress whose body of work includes Back to School, Paper Dolls, and Becker. Today, she joins us to discuss her role as the 8th host of the Dax symbiote, Lieutenant Commander Jadzia Dax. Please welcome back Terry Farrell.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Patty. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Terry.
How are you?
Good to see you.
It's good to see you again. How have you been holding up?
Well, better now that I see you. It's just so rare to have actual interaction with human beings.
Well, it's glad to have you.
Practice too. I've changed this up. I after I get done working out, my whole self-care routine, I actually get my hair and makeup done. And, just like I'm actually going somewhere, even though I'm only moving to the living room. But it's made me feel a lot better. It really has. I mean, it's not everything, but it does make me feel a little better not to be wearing my yoga pants for the entire of my week.
For you. This is the first time I put makeup on in I don't even know how long. And you're right, Terry, it makes a difference. It's like,
it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Better. I should try doing this more often.
Yeah. There is a world outside still.
Yeah.
Well, Terry, absolutely glad to have you here back. As always, wonderful to see you again. And I have both of you here. So a friend of mine dared me to say this. Well, ladies, just the Dax.
Just the what?
Just the Dax. Just the Dax, ma'am.
Oh. I'm thinking, wait a minute. Hold on.
Just the Dax, only the Dax.
And the Ezri need to be a part of it too. We're the actual spice that makes Dax more interesting.
Ooh, let me bring out the rest of your castmates and let's get into that a little bit. So, our next guest, he is an actor whose body of work includes Dirty Harry, Charlie Varick, and Hellraiser. He joins us to talk about his role as the former member of the Cardassian or Obsidian Order turned humble tailor, Elim Garak. Please welcome back the always awesome Andrew Robinson.
Hello, everybody. Patty, just the Dax?
Friend of mine dared me to say it, and I was like, all right, I'll do it for you.
How's everybody doing? Gary, I'm glad you finally got your internet, flowing.
Andrew, how are you, my friend?
I'm all right. I'm just here, in time and space, serving my, oh God, don't ask those things.
Hey, we're getting through. We're getting through.
We are getting through.
there is a horizon. There is a sun at that, and we are all heading to that direction. That is that is my hope, and I cling to it.
and I'm with you, Patty. Listen, I am guided by you.
I cling on.
Well, we're bring on. If we're heading to the sunlight, let's go to something that glitters. Because our next guest is an actor and author whose body of work includes Beauty and the Beast, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and the Merchant Prince series. Today, he joins us to discuss his role as owner of Quark's Bar, Grill, and Gaming House and Holosuite Arcade. Please welcome back Armin Shimerman.
Yay!
Hello, everyone. Hello. Nice to see everybody. And you know what? I don't want to ever put makeup on again.
You know what? It's a shame, really, Armin, because it really brings out your eyes.
That's right.
I don't have Karen anymore, so she was an expert at that.
That's right. We have an all special effects makeup cast today on this one, don't we? Very nice, very nice. Well, first of all, Armin, how have you been holding up, sir?
I've been holding up pretty well, although, and I'm happy to say, and everyone should follow my lead, I got my second shot yesterday, which makes me a little under the weather today. So if I look a little foggy, it's because the vaccine is doing its work. But I'm holding up and eagerly waiting and writing on my second of my three books for my trilogy. So that keeps me sane. I don't use makeup. I use writing to get me through the day.
There you go. And how is Betrayal of Angels coming along? Response and everything else.
It is great. Thank you very much. People have been enormously kind. I've gotten some very good reviews. When you write, it's a very lonely existence. It's nice to have somebody tell me that all those hours, all those months, actually all those years were worthwhile.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, once again, Armin, thank you for joining us today. It's great to see you in good spirit and eventual good health. A little under that, but I think the price is worth it.
Absolutely.
Indeed. And finally, she is an actress whose roles include Dark Angel, Torchwood, and Family Guy. Today, she joins us to discuss her role as Colonel Kira Nerys. Please welcome back the always amazing Nana Visitor.
Hey, everybody. Hey,
hello, Nana. How are you?
I'm good. Patty, I cannot believe how fast you can talk. I was trying to keep up with you as you were speaking. It was like I would be tongue-tied. It's an art. It really is.
I've always been told, get them out as quickly as possible, but talk to them a little bit. But get them out as fast as possible. Yeah, that's
you do it.
You know what? I'm not going to bring Armin out without talking about his book. I'm not going to bring Terry out and talk about the state of the world. I'm certainly not going to bring you out and not ask you, how are you doing?
Have you ever done an auction? You'd be a good auctioneer.
He would be a fabulous auctioneer.
Sold American.
I used to know the fastest talker in America, and he would do all those things at the end of advertisements, when they say,
oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
But it's like those.
Patty, I am doing very, very well. Thank you. I've got something exciting coming up that I'll be able to announce soon. I'm doing another project coming up in May, so I'm staying busy.
Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us, or for the first time, in your case, Nicole, to the GalaxyCon virtual stage. As always, we look forward to the day when the world does get back to normal and we can see it. We can see it. We're not there, but we can see it, where we can once again host you on our physical stages and get all of you back in front of your fans. In the meantime, we have this electronic forum, and as always, it's a pleasure to have you here. Our team is going to the chat room right now, pulling out the questions. In the meantime, I would just like to throw this out. When did each of you, if you had to encapsulate your characters on DS9, how would you describe it? How would you describe what's the hook for each of your characters as you eventually came to know them as?
Misunderstood.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair.
Oh, is this a one-word answer?
No, you can expand on it.
I can only use one word at a time.
Definitely finding herself. Definitely finding herself.
Absolutely.
Smiling, damned villain.
Good one. I think Major Kira was on the spectrum of everything. It was that an entity can have all these different colors and is not black and white, not easily understood. Just shades of gray. Shades of Gray. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a Simon and Garfunkel song.
It's hot.
Actually, his name was Ira told me once that Dax was the that my character was, you know, the motto of Star Trek, the vision of Star Trek. She was hope. She was inclusive. She was forgiving. She was accepting. So I would, when he said that, it was like, whoa, yeah,
really.
Play
hope now. Yeah. Hope.
That word impression.
Play hope.
You were the hope. Well, it's interesting because now that Cole joins us, you shared half of the same character, which I think is so interesting. And I've often used the metaphor of Doctor Who, where it was a core character that changed personalities, but with the same underlying character traits and the memories. And I just found it was very interesting passing of the torch, and I thought it was handled tremendously well. Nicole, I mean, you came on in and you really were able to make the character into an interesting new direction, and you won our hearts. You absolutely did.
Oh, thank you. What I realized, what really made it so easy for me, though, is that I was coming into a situation where everybody, all the characters pretty much, you know, that I was dealing with already had this love, because I was a bridge for them to someone that they lost and missed so much and loved and respected. And so just as an actor coming in, that made it easier for me. You know what I mean? Because instantly all my scenes with people, they already had, you know, they cared for me, and, you know, because of their love for Jadzia. So that really helped a lot.
Absolutely, it did. Well, like I said, you won our hearts after Terry broke it by her character getting killed off, but not that it had anything to do with her. But anyway, hey, I think we are good to no. And just real quick, because again, like I said, you all spent a little extra time in the makeup chair providing special effects. Some cases it was spots, some people's, and then some people got it earlier. So how long was the makeup time for each of you?
My worst makeup time, it was not bad putting the nose on. They had to paint my face, and that took some. But when I was a Cardassian, I gained so much respect for all the guys who wore the full-on face, because that I got to work. They were unsure how long it would take, so they took their time. I got to work at 1 in the morning, and the day started at 7, and they worked from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. on me. That was miserable.
Oh my God. 6 hours?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Who was the makeup artist, Nina?
Yeah, who was that?
There were a couple of people, Camilo Cafe, but there was someone else working on me as well that I can't remember. But there were 2 of them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess
the worst I ever had was, you know, when I first started out with the Cardassian makeup was 4 hours. And then they got it down to just under 2 hours. 7 hours.
Same for me. I started out 4 hours, and then it was pretty much always 2 hours to the minute, to the dot. I did
it was the squirming and whining that got in their way.
Yeah, they didn't like you. You know, they obviously wanted you to
Karen
suffer.
used to slap me on top of the head.
I wanted to spend more time with her. They wanted to spend more time with her.
Well, there was a glamour.
That's what I was thinking, Carrie.
That's right.
Glamour. So, you know, they tried to make me look like an attractive Cardassian. That may have been what it was, but it was
Not our job.
I don't know. I was pretty hot looking, you know. I mean, so
you were, Andy.
I mean, in 2 hours, you know.
In that wetsuit, you were more than hot looking. You were sweating up a storm.
Sweating up a storm.
So, for Armin and Andrew, says heavy prosthetics, 2 hours to get on. About how long to take off?
That's a very good question, Patty. That's the one question people never ask. that for me was the more important of the time. It was an hour to get out of the makeup while the rest of everybody else was saying good night.
Out of there. Everybody's gone. You're done.
I still had an hour to go. Renee used to rip his makeup off. Michael did that once or twice as well. But I had been lectured not to do that, nor could I think. So
it's hard on the skin.
That hour out was very hard because I'd just spent a 16-hour day, but it paid for the house. So lots of overtime.
How long were the spots, Nicole?
Yeah.
How long did the spots take?
Not long.
No.
How long was it for you, Terry? Because I mean, Michael practiced on you for how many years, and then he had it down.
6 years of practice. Well, at first it took a long time. I mean, I would go in when we'd be on location at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning too, because between the wig and the spots were done. At first I had a different makeup artist and the spots, and then Mike did both for a while. And then it got split up. I think it started out like an hour and a half for the spots, and then it came down to 45 minutes. But that's just the spots.
Yeah.
Right. And then there was the beauty makeup.
Sure.
Terry and Nicole, tell everybody what Michael did after he put the spots on.
He numbered them. He numbered it with Roman numerals at the bottom.
I told him it was like a work of art. And so as a joke, he signed it. But then he started numbering them. That's how it started.
Yeah.
But I did have the full-on old makeup on in one episode, and I too got to have much smaller version than the Cardassian to have old age makeup on, but it covered my entire face, and very quickly it made my face itch. So my entire day was like with an itch I couldn't scratch all over my face, and I just thought, thank God I have the spots. I
got off pretty easily on this one, but I had done an episode of The Outer Limits where I had to go in and get, go in ahead of time to the studio and get the full, have a mold made in my face and have that. It's really claustrophobic, and then you have the straws in your nose and all that.
Oh boy, yeah.
And I hated that process. I mean, it's super cool in the end what they do, but I hated it. And then that was the only time I experienced prosthetics like that. And I had a whole chest piece because I was turned into an alien. And then, so I know at the end of the day, you got to get it all off, and it's all stuck to you in the glue, and it's painful. And so as soon as I heard that there was an audition for Star Trek, I said right away, what kind of alien is that? Because I couldn't do it if it was prosthetics. I already knew that from experience.
So, and Terry, early on, was there a lot of, they did try out a lot of permutations of the spots? They finally found the pattern that was what everybody agreed on?
Actually, that's so funny. I haven't been asked about that forever, Patty. At first, the original Trill had a weird eyebrow thing going on, didn't have spots. And Carrie McCluggage said, why did we hire a beautiful woman? You can make her look unattractive. What the hell was the point? So that's when they went back to, I guess, this is how I remember it. I don't know exactly, but I think they offered it to Famke Janssen to play Dax. And she, in the character she had played, one of them in The Next Generation, had spots on her character, and they thought that was sexy. So they were trying to find a different way to do spots. And it was crazy because we shot some. Do you guys remember? We shot some with me with the forehead. Maybe Nana, you remember. And then we had to go back, and I had to shoot all of it in like the last week. It was like, oh my, and I got bronchitis. And oh God, I wasn't making any friends. It was terrifying. It was too much pressure. But gratefully, there's like one picture of us in a cave, and I have the weird forehead.
And you had a wig, Terry? I thought that was all your hair.
Well, the thing was that way you don't have to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
It was a piece or a full wig?
Oh no, a piece. It was a 3/4 fall.
Right,
but that way my hair. That way my hair matched and they didn't have to worry about it.
They didn't go natural like they did with Armin and Andrew, but
Exactly.
Well, this has been incredibly illuminating. Thank you so much. And our team let us know we're good to go on audience questions. So let's go ahead and roll our first one. And this comes from Mel, and they want to know, how was it to shoot the last episode of the series, or in your case, your final episode of the series?
Well, it was sad. It was
Sarah,
sad.
you go first. Yeah,
I'll go.
You were the first one.
Steve Oster was very kind to ask me if I wanted to shoot that particular. My last day was shooting my actual dying, getting killed by Gold, or getting massively injured by Gold Dukat, and then lying on the bed and dying. So I thought, well, it'd probably be better to shoot the things with everybody else and then have me and Mark Alimo end the day. Because it'll be harder to say goodbye to everybody and not have more to do. And so that was, bizarre, because the very next day I had to read for the studio for Becker. So I had this like really awesome opportunity the next day, and I'd been auditioning for Becker for like 6 weeks straight. So I wasn't really, I was sad to say goodbye to everybody, but I was auditioning for something that just shot on the opposite side of the lot. Yeah. So it was really hard to feel it sort of felt just, like a fortunate set of circumstances. Had I not stuck to my guns, I wouldn't have had the opportunity. So, things happen the way they do. There's things that, when we did the documentary where I felt kind of like, wow, it was really sad. There's parts where I was crying because I hadn't seen everybody and talked to everybody about it. And it was the first time I'd seen Ira in like 11 years. That's where a lot of my emotion was coming from, because my friends hadn't heard my side of the story. But ultimately, I was really proud of how I handled it. And I was really grateful how lucky my life had turned out. So that's my end of the story. Your turn. I love you guys.
Well, I just wept through the whole last episode. I was emotionally a wreck. I didn't want to say goodbye. It felt like I was being turned out of the village, you must leave and go into the wild. And I just didn't want to. It was hard to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Andy?
Yes, no, 7 years is a long time, to be in a role in a show and with a group of people. So it was, as an actor, you're always, when a job ends, you're always wondering, well, will I ever work again? And it was sad. I think sad is the word.
It was sad for me as well. I remember I shot the very last scene with Jimmy Darren, and so we were the last two actors on the set. Everybody else had the big party. Everybody had said goodbye, and they'd left. And Jimmy and I still had one more scene to shoot. Wow. And I remember when Karen was taking the makeup off, there was a little voice in my head that's in Quark's voice going, "Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me." But of course, as Andy said, and it was 7 years, and it was time. It was time. They had explored everything I think they could with my character anyway, and it was time to stop that. And as far as also what Andy said about thinking, will I ever work again? The unfortunate thing for me, although it wasn't so bad, was that both Star Trek and Buffy ended for me the same week. I was killed by Buffy the same week that our show came to an end.
Wow.
Whoa.
Brutal. So, Nicole, how about you?
Well, yeah, I was sad. Everybody else was so sad. It had been so long for them. I definitely wanted to keep going.
I
never actually been on a show that lasted longer, a year. So it was great to be.
Well, again, from a fan's perspective, yeah, it's like you don't want to see it go. But Armin was right. I feel like everybody's arcs, I won't say concluded, but they had reached a really good point from where they began to where we were leaving them off there. And yeah, I would have liked to have seen a couple movies, but that's just me.
It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen. We knew that. We knew that.
I knew you knew that deep down. I kind of got the wind of that from the fan network at the time, but it doesn't mean we didn't want it. But you know, c'est la vie. But yeah. Mel, thank you though. That was a wonderful question to start us off with. What do we have next? From Boris. Decide for yourself who is your favorite character, and I assume it's going to relate to DS9.
Well, it's easy for me. I've always said it. With all due respect to everybody here, my favorite character is Andy's character. Garak was for me, absolutely the most interesting and fascinating character on the show, and I love what Andy did with the role as well. But that to me was the most interesting character.
Oh, thank you, Armin. Yeah, I never think that way. You know, it's like this question has been asked for me before, and it's like I loved playing Garak so much. I mean, the idea, you know, of playing somebody else. I mean, I auditioned several times for Odo at the beginning. So I guess Odo would be the one, only because I did put in some from time and energy, you know, trying to get that character. But I adored Garak. I still do. I'd still, you know, jump in the braces for that one.
I think Odo for me as well. This idea of a shapeshifter trying to find his identity. It seemed like he hid behind this gruff exterior, you know, because he wasn't quite sure of who or what he was. And I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely fair.
Mine changes all the time. I don't know. I think I have one and then it changes. And like I love Kira so much. I think she's just so amazing and so complex and so much to wonder. And I also Garak, yeah, such a great. And then more recently, I've watched rewatch, and I just love Nog, and because of Aaron, and I just love Aaron. Yeah. So I really, more recently, I've been like, you know, Nog all the way. So it changes for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Terry,
I think it's like having siblings. You know, like. You know, you have days where like what you're closer to one than the other. I have 4 sisters, and Nana is my chosen. And I would say probably Odo, in that he was sort of, there was a parallel, especially in the beginning, of what my character went through and searching for who she was in all the facets of who Dax was, and all of the lives that Symbiont carried. And that went throughout the entire show for me. And at the same time, it was sort of her in search of herself, and Odo and I had that same kind of connection, only he was really the male perspective on that. And there's something really painful about watching his process that, you know, you kind of wanted to help heal him.
And I will say that when I didn't know the show, I will say that Quark represented DS9 to me when I first kind of learned about DS9 and stuff. Like, it was always Quark. I was like, because the Ferengis are all in this a lot, and it's Quark, and it's Quark's bar, and so also Quark was big. Just want to say, Armin.
Thank you. Ira once said to me, I think in the last episode, he said to me, the reason why we'll end the episode on you, pretty much, is because you are the station. Quark is the station.
Right.
So he agrees with you as well, Nicole.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. To me, this was a Trek series that again that really went to an ensemble thing, because the other shows it was always a mission. They had to go somewhere, and that crew, their originally. This was people in the hierarchy, but also people, making a living running bars or being tailors and everything on else. This was this balance that just lend itself to the ensemble. And again, characters like Andrew started off a little side character, then just us falling in love with, as fans falling in love with you, or the writing team falling in love with you, and building out, and the character of Nog and everything else. So it's
we could do that. We could do that because we didn't go anywhere for the most part. So people lived there for long periods of time, and Andy couldn't have really been on an away mission like Next Generation. I couldn't have been on an away mission. We were about struggling with living with each other, and because of that, I would venture to say that we probably have more of an ensemble of background characters. Background is the wrong word, but ensemble characters because of that situation. Yeah. We could investigate the psychology of everybody that lived on the station.
And it doesn't.
Sorry, go ahead, Dad.
I was just going to say that it doesn't get more Roddenberry than that. It was always about people coming from different backgrounds.
Paramount did not like the idea that we didn't go anywhere. That's why we got the Defiant in the 3rd and 4th season. They wanted us to have a ship because they wanted us to go somewhere, or they wanted the show to go somewhere.
It had its uses.
Some of them wanted us to go away.
Yeah. I think that too, Andy.
Well, Boris, thank you very much. That was a wonderful question. Thank you. And what's next? And this is going to come from Morgan. Oh, if you had a holosuite, where and when would you like to go to right now in the simulation?
Well, that's easy for me, because my daughter has just moved to England, and she's living in this part of England in the southwest called Devon, which is so beautiful. And so she is sending me pictures, and we Zoom, and she and her husband and little boy live on a farm, and I ache for this place. It's so beautiful.
Isn't that where like the cream, Devonshire cream and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that is
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to go into the future and just have a huge party with lots of people, and there's no way.
Yeah. Yes. All right. I changed my mind. I'm with Nana.
I'm with Nana too. Oh my gosh. And I'm totally inviting myself over to your house.
Over to my holosuite. Everybody come to my holosuite.
Totally.
Yes.
As usual, I'm the outliner. I would like to go in the past. I would like to do the show that Cullum did. I would like to go back into Elizabethan times and see how all those people actually lived, and get a better idea of what life. I want to get out of there after a couple of days, but I wouldn't mind going for a couple of hours and just seeing what that looked like.
Wait, a couple of days or a couple of hours? Make up your mind. You cut it down again.
Yeah, I think I'd stay for a day or two before they killed me off. But it would be, it would be fascinating. I spent so much time in my head in that era that it would be great to go there and visit.
I think that is the next thing, other than the Holo Suite, is actual time travel as vacations. I think would be great, where you pay where we have the ability to do that, first of all. And then, it costs a fair bit, but you get to go back for a week or so to a time period. I mean, wouldn't that be great? A fun vacation.
As long as you don't change the time. What's it called?
Of course.
Timeline. Of course. And as always, and when you do go back in time, you got to remember there's no air conditioning, so pick a good time of year to arrive.
Yeah, very good, Patty. Very good.
I imagine Elizabethan times, no matter what time you're talking about, or when were you talking about, Armin? Imagine it smelled pretty bad then.
That's it. Yeah.
It did. It did.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall, it had to have been really bad.
It did.
I figure during high summer, it had to be worse.
But if it's like Bridgerton,
now.
And you had to worry about the plague. The plague came frequently, so you could die of the bulbos that you would get from the plague.
But this is This is Armin's vacation. He can spend it anywhere he wants.
That's right. Thank you.
He doesn't have a vaccine. That's why he's feeling brave. He's feeling brave to go.
Oh, man.
Crazy. Morgan, thank you. Wonderful. And let's roll another one. And it's going to come from Jay. Do you have a favorite blooper? I know this is difficult because they're usually better when you see it in action, but if anybody's got one, they can.
Andy, do you remember this? Do you remember that we were in that? It was the last year of the show, and it was probably 2 a.m, and you had this line: you have to you have to cut off the head of the snake.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry all over again. Every time he said it, I lost it. I could not.
I remember that. I haven't thought of that since it happened.
I was apologizing to Andy. I was apologizing to the crew. I was going, okay, that's it now. Okay, do it. And he'd say the line and I'd be gone again. And it was, that helpless laughter that there's nothing you could do over and over. And he was getting so pissed at me.
I wasn't getting pissed. I'm sure I wasn't getting pissed.
They sent it to me. They sent me that bit of film. I wish I still had it, but it was 30 takes.
David,
30 takes of me laughing.
I
2 in the morning.
Sure, I got pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone wanted to kill me. I wanted to kill me, and yet it was
30. Wow.
It was unbelievable, over and over and over and over again. That was my worst blooper. I don't think I've had a worse one ever in my life.
Well,
I think that would have made me feel would have given me permission to make mistakes if I saw you do that. I would have been like, oh, why am I so hard on myself?
Truly, Terry.
Yeah. It's an awful feeling when it's happening, even though, oh my God, remembering it's way better than when it's happening.
Oh God, yeah.
And Nana, in your defense, I mean, yeah, it was really late at night, and yeah, I can't imagine what it's like to be on those sets as you see them for real and everything else. And yeah, it's gonna get to you.
And Patty, what's so great is that Andy each time was as committed as the last. He was there all the way, and that made me laugh even more. Nothing broke him. Nothing. He was there. It was full on, Garak.
Oh my God. I just wanted to get the hell out of there. And then there was this crazy woman who was laughing.
Because you still had a whole hour in the makeup chair. Take it all off.
Oh, God.
No, I don't remember. Did you guys see blooper reels somehow or at part?
We did once. Remember, there was one lunch, and I don't know, it was like at the end of some year, and they had, it wasn't
at the beginning.
There were a few bloopers. Do you remember it, Terry?
I think it was the beginning, and then they were like,
it was a party that they gave us. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say it's usually at a wrap or a yearly at a party or something. They put one together for everybody.
Yeah,
that's like a half-hour show thing to do.
Well, if on the next media edition of the show when it's released, if anyone out there involved in it wants to dig that footage up and as an extra, there's some gold in their hills.
Yeah, find that blooper reel, folks.
Yeah.
Anybody else got one that comes to their memory?
Can't top that one.
Yeah.
I just always say the F word, I think. I don't know.
Working with Cullum. He would show up late, not know his lines, learn them while we were rehearsing it. Then we come in but we hadn't run it all the way through for me. And my lines are like, oh my God, I can't get this. I'm so overtired. And then he would be spot on. And then when he'd look at me, he'd give me this look. I'm sure he did it to all of you too. And I would laugh and it would be like, now it's out of my head. I can't I couldn't concentrate, but he just cracked me up. He just has that way of looking at me.
It was a tiny nerve in his eyebrow. That happened. And it was all over. Yeah.
Manipulative guy.
Totally.
Someday I hope he'll join us here. So, but Jay, thank you very much. I think we have time for one more quick one. So let's see what we got. And this is going to come from Sara. Oh, so have you got this question before? Yes. Did you keep a souvenir from the set?
No, I didn't. Like a fool.
But well, people have been giving you plenty since then, of course.
Oh yeah, but nothing from the set.
Yeah.
I know. My favorite though, when that question comes up, I immediately get the vivid image of my mind of Renee with this look, this intense look, and when he moved, he could move fast, and he had this screwdriver, and that he was working that mother of a set. I mean, with his screwdriver, it was great. Like the Bastille.
And now Judith doesn't know what to do with all that shit.
Yeah. And see, I didn't know people were doing that. And I found out that, we were taking, and I was like, what? And then I remember running from stage to stage, and I didn't see anything left that I could actually take that wasn't like a giant piece of set. I was like pulling stuff, and but nothing would come off. So.
Oh,
you're right. No, you didn't have the screwdriver, Nicole.
I know.
She didn't have the power tools.
It'd have to be battery operated. Sorry, I just didn't think that all the way through.
I did save a couple of my prosthetics, especially the big prosthetic that covered my, eyes and cheeks and whatever. But it disintegrated almost immediately.
Yeah.
Yes, I kept the teeth, and they no longer work anymore. They don't fit anymore.
Oh.
I like that you tried them on, though, Armin. That's very poignant to me. I can imagine you sitting at home trying the teeth on.
I hate to wreck that image, but it's because I had to do something in Quark's voice, and I hadn't worn the teeth in years. And I went to put them back on. I went, I can't wear these. I can't speak in these. So we had to make new teeth in order to be able to do that.
It's like Invisalign.
Very cool.
Ferengi Invisalign.
The prop guys, when I left, the prop guys gave me this little fetish from Ryza. It's in storage somewhere, but it was because I was the only one who, well, obviously Jake wasn't, but at that time, I was the only one who hadn't been married. So they were like, please, good luck. Take this little idol from Ryza. I can't remember what it was called now. People remember it, I don't. It's one of those things from Star Trek that the fans remember, and it goes right out of your head. But I still have it.
You have that?
I do.
Cool.
But without Pat, I wouldn't. So
Pat.
Oh, Pat was so sweet. Oh,
and what was his assistant's name? He was amazing too.
Bud and Pat.
Oh, Bud. Oh,
jeez,
God,
really well done, Armin. Wow.
Yeah, impressive.
They were great.
And who are these folks?
These were the prop guys, and they were
They were great. They were great.
Can I bore everybody with a story that Pat told me that I just adore? Oh my! Now I've forgotten who bought Paramount while we were still there.
Yes, Viacom.
So Pat said to me one day on the set, he said, "Armin, come with me into his little office." They had a little booth, and he said, "I got to show you something." And I went, and he showed me a letter from one of the new Viacom executives, written to all the prop guys on Star Trek, and it said, guys, we're going to be setting up a new protocol for the use of the phasers. You're going to have to show the actors how they work and turn them off during rehearsal. Only turn them on during the time of the scene. And then the moment that the scene is over, this was an official letter. When the scene is over, you must collect them immediately from the actors so that there are no accidents. Just so that everybody knows, the only way you could get hurt from a phaser is if you threw that block of wood at somebody.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
What? And Pat said to me, These guys are probably making a lot more than we are.
Oh, indeed they are.
Oh, for sure.
Just be very careful with those laser phaser things, whatever they got there. You're all important to us, you know.
Wow.
Bureaucracy in action.
Really went to college. That's what's even more frightening.
Wow.
You're educated.
Sara, thank you. That was a wonderful question. And GalaxyCon viewers, this has been my time with the cast of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Gentlemen and ladies, it's been a delight. Any final words for our audience before we go?
Thank you for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Hope everybody's staying safe and well.
Sending you love.
So much.
Once again, it's been my absolute pleasure to host you all again. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to our audience for joining us. And thank you for all your great questions. Hope to see you all again soon. Until then, bye-bye, everyone. Take care. And please keep washing those hands.
You had this line, you have to you have to cut off the head of the snake.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry all over again. every time he said it, I lost it. I could not. 30 takes of me laughing.
You know,
And
I,
2 in the morning.
sure I got pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone wanted to kill me. I wanted to kill me, and yet it was
30. Wow.
It was full on, Garak.
Oh my God. I just wanted to get the hell out of there. And then there was this crazy woman who was laughing.
Because you still had a whole hour in the makeup chair. Take it all off.